Hello YouTube and welcome to channel Annabella, and I'm going to be doing my Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 3 review, The Long Night. To cut a long story short, this episode is mostly a battle between the Night King's forces and the Allied forces inside Winterfell. It doesn't go well for anybody. Well, does it? So we're halfway through the season now. We've got 3 more episodes after this, 4, 5, 6, and then no more. So this episode is crucial. We're using Bran as bait to lure the Night King in to hopefully defeat him. That is the main strategy. We have the mysterious turning up of the Red Woman, otherwise known as Melisandre, who is very important because she provides fire. Because during this battle there is a heavy blizzard. The scenery is wonderful, the shooting is great, there's a lot of leading up in this battle which sets it off nicely, and the end there's a lot of leading down as well. So we're led up, we have the battle, and then we're led off. So it's kind of like you go up the hill, you reach the peak, then you go down, and that's the structure of this episode in total. The death toll obviously is quite high. And I'm just going to point out some spoiler warnings because if you've not seen it, you perhaps don't want to know, but I am just going to read them out. So we've got Eddard Tollett, Lyanna Mormont, Lady of Bear Island, who died defeating an ice giant and then got brought back to life and then died again. Lord Beric Doran, who is the leader of the band of the Brotherhood Without Banners and got brought back to life 19 times by the Lord of Light himself. Theon Greyjoy, who died protecting Bran. Bran thanked him for his service. The Night King, Viserion, the dragon, the person, the Red Woman Melisandre, who I found it really telling that the Onion Knight watched her throughout the whole of this episode, and Sir Jon Mormont, who was mourned heavily by Daenerys and by her remaining dragon. Overall, I'd rate this episode a 5 out of 5. It was really well constructed. Some would say a little slow, but having seen how far we've travelled with Game of Thrones, you can allow these moments to be prolonged and to indulge. They're not playing with our emotions. We want to savour everything. The use of music at the end was really, really nice. You had a touching scene between Sansa and Tyrion. Quite a lot of them, actually. Oh, with this thing focus. Sorry about that. You had quite a lot of touching scenes between Tyrion and Sansa, which I really liked. We also find out where the spider was, because obviously we didn't see him a lot last episode. It was nice to actually see him included. Yes, he was down in the crypt. That's where he's useful. And Sansa herself says the most heroic thing we can do is recognise that we are not useful and allow the useful people to do their job. It looks like Jaime and Brienne made it through. So this is good. So for the next 4, 5 and 6, we are going to be facing Cersei. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you everything that happened at the end of this episode, but let's just say Bran, the three-eyed raven, had a plan and it worked. The use of the trenches was excellent. Grey Worm was brilliant. Overall, everybody played a part wonderfully. And what was interesting was nobody foresaw the blizzard, which actually blinded Jon and Daenerys from actually seeing. They could see with their eyes, but they couldn't see down, and this did affect the layout of the battle. It was so sad to lose Ghost, but hey hey. So overall, the episode was really well done, really well thought out, and it was nice to actually see some of the characters that we saw in previous episodes from previous seasons come back to life, quite literally. Sam is the luckiest person alive, really, he really is. Overall, the episode was good. You saw the tensions, but you saw them deal with them admirably. Arya was awesome in this episode. I absolutely love the fact that Melisandre said to her, "What do we say to the god of death?" And everybody should know the answer to that from season 1 of Game of Thrones. So it's tying up nicely, it's tying these bows. It's interesting that Three-Eyed Raven recognised that Theon was a good man and gave him that and thanked him for his service. were some really nice touches in this episode. Didn't see a lot of Jamie and Bree of Tar because they were busy. The Onion Knight's journey was particularly good because you knew that him and the Red Woman had issues, and that was nipped in the bud straight away as soon as she arrived, because she says, I know you want to kill me, but actually don't worry, you don't have to. By the end of this night I'm going to be dead anyway, so let me just do my job. Which was effectively what he did, and he was the one who let her in because he knew that she could help. So overall, this was basically the fulfilling of plans within plans. Goodness knows what's going to happen next, but I can tell you we're going to be heading south. All the south is going to head to us, one way or the other, and we will see how things play out, because we're going to have issues with Dany and Jon, and also Sansa and Tyrion. And it was interesting that they had the scene that's saying that things are fractious between them and the alliance is rocky. But I think with the outcome of this battle, we will see how rocky it is and how stable they are. 5 out of 5 for this episode, well worth the wait. Really, really well constructed battles. It's a tad annoying at times because you couldn't see things, but the use of fire was brilliant. I particularly like how you had the fire swords and then you saw them all go out and you were just like, this enemy is like nothing else. Some would say that the conclusion that you defeated somebody like the Night King too easily. I would say not, because actually Cersei is a far bigger threat. So a long battle has ended. A new game is about to start, and we're going to have another long battle. 3 episodes worth, people. And remember that she's still waiting for the Bank Army to come. And we've still got to deal with the Ironborn from the Iron Islands. And I do not think that Theon Greyjoy's sister is going to take his death well. Why won't this... Oh, focus. There we go. So annoying. So overall, I'd say that the episode went well. It did what it had to do. Some people would say, oh, it was too short. You defeated the Night King and his forces too easily. Perhaps. Also, we are down to 1 living dragon, I believe. Because, unfortunately, Jon Snow's dragon died. So this is going to be interesting for the next, as we're down to 1 dragon, people. Which means we've only got 1 rider. Which is going to be telling, I think. If you've enjoyed this recap / episode review, loads of stuff happened in this episode. It was really well done, really well constructed. Halfway through, Mum was like, I didn't realise I was watching a zombie fantasy. Because Game of Thrones has had the zombies sort of slow in, and now they've slowly joggled off. And some people say, oh, it was too easy. But I don't think it was. I think the real threat is Cersei and the remaining Greyjoy forces. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'm sorry it's quite short, but sometimes the episode just does the job, and this one has done the job, and I do recognise that some people will be disappointed. But actually, when you consider we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus a living dragon, so that's 9, that really isn't very many, which means the episode 4, 5 and 6 are going to be even more brutal. So, time to put your seatbelt on and get ready for next week's episode 4. Bye! Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. What you think about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night.